Hey guys, back with you. Blackrates the philosopher. Pastor Corey is back with you again, and I wanted to talk about a subject that um, has really come to a not necessarily an end. I would say more. I don't know if end is the best way to describe it, but a completion, and that's step parentage or parenting kids that are not your own. And as my son has turned 18 and graduated from high school, my parenting days are completely over. And parenting on that level of raising children is over. And I have some reflection to do based on my conversations with him, my thoughts over years that I was alienated. Um, and I just wanted to share, hopefully, share some advice with mainly this is for the guys that I know, um, to take these things to heart, especially if you're under 30 and you're contemplating on getting in a relationship, getting a long term relationship, getting married, or different things like that, so that you can make a good decision for yourself. And I want to encourage you guys, as again, I'm still honoring Kevin Samuels, one of the great philosophers and thinkers, and crusaders for men in our country, and especially for Black men as well. I want to encourage you guys to get out there and find information to help you. When you're on YouTube and you're looking at Sports Center, you're looking at all of these highlights, and you're looking at girls popping their booty and different things like that, why don't you find some information that will help you to grow as a man? You can start with Kevin Samuels, and from there you can go and find other people. I even have a channel. You can subscribe to my channel as well on YouTube. Women have had these things for years with Oprah and with Wendy Williams and with The View and with The Talk and with the whatever. They've had these things, and we've just been sitting here going on old information that's now serving us, no longer serving us at all. That old information that you got from your uncle, your dad, from 90s music and different things like that will not help you in today's world. And you really need to go and seek that information, or you are going to get played and done very, very wrong. So, with that, let's talk about step parents. Should I become a step parent? I want to tell you about my situation first. I never ever wanted my kids to have a step parent. I grew up with step parents. I had some great ones. I had some great parents, proxy parents. I want to talk about Major Hatcher. He was my stepdad. I loved him. He was an incredible step parent. Being a very, very minimally educated man from Macon, Georgia, he took me on as his son when my mom married him, and he just took me on as his son. I called him dad and daddy from the beginning. I know my brothers, because I have a lot of brothers and sisters, they kind of looked at me sideways that I would call this man who's not my dad daddy. And I'm so glad I did that. I'm so glad I did that because it was an honor to him, because he did what he could with the amount of information that he had, and he was the best stepfather as well as father that he could be for me. And even with that, I did not honor him correctly on his time when he was on this earth. Um, I had other guys who I have friends who had stepfathers who would just take on everybody else's kids as their kid. His name was Darius Wise, um, and he was more of an example of, if I when I become an adult, I wanted to have his type of swag, his type of authority, his type of money, his type of confidence. He was a good looking man, always sharp. He was like the when you looked at a grown man, you say, you know what? If I want to be a grown man, that's how I want to look like. And even though I absolutely love and adore my father, my father was a blue collar worker. He did not pay for my college. He did not do that for me to become a blue collar worker like him. So I believe there's an understanding in that. But he worked his tail off. My dad has a doctorate degree from Oxford University, and I honor him for it. That's a great achievement. But these extra two dads who were fathers to me, and I wasn't their biological children, I still didn't honor them right. And I wanted to tell you that's why I did not want to become a step parent. I mean, not step parent. I didn't want my kids to have step parents because I wanted always for them to be in my life, and I did not want to have a risk to be in a relationship or have to deal with someone who did not know how to parent. So sorry, it took me 6 minutes to get to that. I apologize. So let's go into it. Most of you don't know that I secretly saw a mental health counselor while I was in my marriage. It got so bad that I was contemplating suicide. I even gave a great friend of mine my 380 pistol to hold for a month. And he held that because one day I sat in my bathroom when I lived. I had a house in Hazlet, Michigan. I sat in my bathroom, locked the door, and I held a gun in my hand, thinking if I was going to blow my head off because my relationship had gotten so bad that I didn't know what else to do, and I didn't feel like there was any way out of it. But I decided that I would rather stay in my son's life as a co-parent instead of leaving his life completely due to the inability for me to get along with his mom. I understood that I would be opening the door for my son to inherit a step parent. Now, how to choose a partner who will succeed as a step parent. So now, more or less, this may be talking to the dads. So these are talking to mainly to the moms. Think about these things. I know I have friends here that watch this video. Think about these things. If you're single and you want a partner, you want to have somebody to do life with, we understand that. But think about these things for your children. Don't get serious with a person who has no past success with children, either either their own children or even or occupation. That means this: if the person that you're dating is alienated from their kids and their kids won't talk to them, their kids won't call them, you do not need to be you need to be leery and get involved with those kids. I mean those people, because if their kids are not trying to reach out to them and they have and it's not a situation where, and you have to investigate this stuff. You have to investigate it. Okay, why doesn't your kids talk to you? Well, because the mom of this, because the mom of that. All right. Well, have you done anything to get past that? Have you went to court? Have you fought? Have you sent them things? Have you done what you tried to do? No, I just said forget it. Nope, you don't want to. I would be leery in dealing with people like that because if they don't want to be a part of their own kid's life, why would they want to be a part of your kid's life? Think about that. It takes two to tango. I fought my behind off to get back in my son's life, which included $7,500, which included, going back and forth, driving hundreds of miles, calling around. I called family members. I called everybody saying, help me get back in my son's life. But if you're just going to let it go and let your kids just be out there, why would you get involved why would you want to bring that person in to parent your kid? That's kind of weird. Within a month of knowing this person, you should feel very comfortable leaving the kid with your partner. You say, what you man? That's just no. What you do all the time is you leave your kids at daycare, and you only met maybe one or two of the people at that daycare center. But there may be 50 people working at daycare center. You just send them right in. Why? Because that they have the skill set to deal with your kids. Also, schools and coaches. Maybe if your partner that you're dating, if they have that skill set and they know how to work with kids and they can kind of show you probably through the conversation that you had that they have success with children all the time, with kids, with teens and stuff like that. That may be that's a great candidate for someone you get involved with who will be a decent step parent to your kids. If you are in love with someone, but you know they don't want to be a parent or aren't really comfortable with children, then think about doing this. Talk to your baby daddy or baby mama and say, listen, I'm thinking about, I'm involved with somebody. So I think that our children should go to you full time and they should come visit me on the weekends or a different type of setup where they come visit you instead of the kids going to visit the other parent. Because it's best for the welfare of the kids. Maybe that parent, maybe that person that you're dealing with are okay with kids on a short amount of time, but as the time gets longer, they get exasperated, they get frustrated, they feel trapped. And so really only a weekend will serve them good. And they'll be great step parents on a weekend. But full time, they just cannot make it work. And you're crazy about this person. You love them, but you don't want them out of your life. But think about your kids and say, hey, I'm gonna send you over with your dad, because this is very, very important. When you have the dad, when the kids go over to the dad house, most of the time, that dad is actually in control of that environment versus when he's with you and your husband is in control of that environment, including your child. And so it can be more tense when this guy wants and demands respect from your kid, and that kid doesn't want to freely give it. Versus if he goes to his dad's house or she goes to her dad's house, that dad is most likely in control of that environment. And therefore, even his spouse, even the woman that he has, she knows that that's his stuff. This is his house. He's paying most of the bills. He's paying for dinners. He's paying for vacations. He's paying for gas. He's paying for most of the things. He's doing the heavy lifting, and I respect him. So therefore, I have to respect his offspring. That's a whole different story. But some of us, we don't think about that, because what we're thinking about is if I send them over there, then I'm going to lose my child support. I'm going to lose my welfare. I'm going to lose my tax credit. I'm going to lose all of the benefits that the government may give out to me because I got kids. Not to my kids, but to me because I got kids. And we're thinking about more about that instead of welfare of your child. And you have to look in the mirror and think about that. And I know many times you're not going to think about that because the mom is the fruit of the earth. And, to become a mom, you have to be blessed by the deity of the gods and all that type of stuff. And I'm being sarcastic, but that's what we think. But listen, loving your kids sometimes means letting them go and be in a better situation. And they will respect that a lot more than you dragging them and being dragging them up under the dominating authority of someone they don't necessarily care for. Okay, so let's get down to this. Tips for step parents. So say for instance, you're thinking about you're dating somebody and they have kids, and you're like, oh shoot, I'm good with all of it, but shoot, she's so fine, she's so this, she's so that. I get in a relationship with her, that's fine. She, I deal with her kids. I got kids myself. Take this into consideration, especially if you're under 30. Reach out personally. Why, as y'all get serious, reach out personally to the other parent to introduce yourself and to understand what they need from you as their kid's step parent. See, that takes a lot of humility because for the most part, the person that you're dealing with has talked so much ish about the daddy and the mama that you damn near think that you're about to meet the devil. And sometimes, many times, you the one that's in the bed with the devil. You the one sleeping with the devil, and they just had to get out of there. And they're looking at you like, so think about this. So separate what you've heard from them, and you go and make your own determination on what type of parent this person is, what type of character this person is. Because you may just realize that, hey, they just could not get along. And so therefore they're going to talk mad ish about each other. You know that. because probably you was a step parent or you had step parents and they did the same thing to you. So come on, use your common sense. Get out of your pride, get out of your haughtiness, thinking that, you know, you just the best thing ever, and reach out and say, "Hey man, let's go and get some coffee, let's go and get a beer, let's go and sit down because I want to make sure that we are partners in raising your kid, son or your daughter, so that we can get along and that they can feel cool and don't feel like they have to choose between one or the other." Do that. And if you do reach out and that parent is hostile, immature, or anything like that, I don't think you need to be in a relationship with that person. The person that baby mom or that baby daddy. You don't need to be in a relationship because that's going to be drama. A white friend from my job, he was the first person that introduced me to the term baby mama drama. And it could be baby daddy drama as well. And I didn't realize that until you get into it. And you don't need that, especially if you're, you know, you're young, you're a guy, and you can have children up until you're 50, 60, 70, 80 years old. You don't need to sit up here and get into a situation because you love her so much, she's so good. And now you walk into the store and almost getting shot by your stepkid's father. That's stupid. Are you about to get your head cracked or get jumped by your stepkid's mother and her sisters? Don't do that. You need to take all of that into consideration and understanding that, hey, there are a lot more people out there that you can get with, and that for less of peace of mind. So all right. So anyway, next thing, I'm going long here. I got 3 more minutes here. I want to get out of here. Do not compete or compare yourself to the stepchild's parents. That is a very important rule. Don't compare or compete. You just do your stuff. That is a completely pointless, and you will never win that. No matter if you are a doctor and the real father is a crackhead. You know why? Because those kids will never see themselves in you. They will never look at you in the mirror and why your eye flinches the way it flinches, says, that's the reason why my eye flinches the way it flinches, because my dad's eye flinches like that, or my mom's eye flinches like that. This is the reason why I bite my tongue when I'm concentrating, because my dad bites his tongue. You don't do that. You squint your eyes. They don't have that type of biological connection with you, so it's no use of you trying to compare. Just love and be in integrity. Love with integrity. Very, very few kids will adopt you as the real dad and the real mom. Very few. But the best you can earn is the status of a favorite teacher or a favorite coach. And you got a favorite teacher and a favorite coach that you know back in school, Mr. Such and such and Miss Such and such. When was the last time you spoke with her? When was the last time you called her? But did you go to her house for Thanksgiving? Did you go to her house for Christmas? Did you send her a Christmas present? Did she send you a Christmas present? No. You just have an affinity in her heart. And that's the best thing you're going to get when you become a step parent. That's what it is. You are not going to be the parent. So you're doing this because maybe you love the mother or the father that much, that you will be willing to do the most thankless, the least amount of gratitude receiving job that you can ever do after being a father. But being a step parent, you get nothing out of that. You just hope to get a lot of love and affection, appreciation from your partner. That's the best that you can. If you get anything above that, claim as a blessing. You know why? This is the reason why. You're only the parent via proxy of the parent. That's the only way. Once if something happens to you guys break up, you're no longer nothing to them. You're nothing. So keep that in mind as you go about continue dating or continue doing things and get into parentage, because, kids are very, very important, and they're nothing to play with. They're nothing to play with. So keep that in mind when you go into it. Again, reach out and find these things on the internet to get the most information so you can get that new information. Stop operating on that old information. All right. Black Ortiz out. Take care.